Greetings, or what is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is hiding and the magpie is casting. Coming to you guys at long last with this, a replay between one EmptySouls01 and Garmillator. The map is going to be Firebase Krill, and I thank Garmillator very much for sending me this replay pack. He sent it to me some time ago now, but I've just now got round to having some time to cast and having a look through these replays, so Garmillator assures me that there is a mixture of all kinds of replays in here, wins, losses, pretty much everything. So I'll be very excited to see exactly what's going to be the content of these games here. So without further ado, spawning here in the south, playing as the kind of black. That looks like just black coalition forces. It is going to be Garmillator, and spawning in the north as soon as I reveal all. Playing as the kind of pinky Saban forces. It is going to be EmptySouls01. So exciting times here. Can I actually give a hotkey to the enemy? I'm sure I've tried this before. Okay, no, I can't give a hotkey to the enemy carrier, but I can give a hotkey to... Hey, why won't it let me select this carrier? Okay, there we go. Alrighty, and that should enable us to keep an eye on the research here. So, whilst these two players move out onto the map and get set up to engage each other in this game, I'll just take a second right here to talk about what's been going on with Magpie. Basically, I mean, you might have noticed, I've not been casting much again for the last couple of weeks. Months. And it's just, I don't know, I just have this rule where I only do things when I'm really, really passionate about them, and I guess the last 2 months, it's not that I've not been passionate about Deserts of Karak, and it's not that I've not been passionate about casting, it's just, there's just been a lot of other stuff in my life, which frankly, I am super blessed and very lucky, and it's been really awesome, but it hasn't left a lot of time for casting, so, yeah. I would provide more details, but it looks like things are already happening in this game. LAV's beginning to move out onto the map for both players here. The initial scouting probe's going to be getting gunned down here. Garmillator's scouting probe gets gunned down. He's coming on out here with a base runner. I wonder if he's going to try for some turret-based shenanigans here. We're going to see. If he gets this base runner up onto the high ground, then he can plonk a turret, like... If you plonk a turret here, does that have range onto this resource point? Because if you do, that's really cool. Well, we're going to find out here momentarily. Looks like the base runner here of EmptySouls gets caught out a little bit. LAV squadron for Garmillator, going to start hosing that one down. And he's going to need to defend it here as EmptySoul. LAV advantage here going substantially to Garmillator, 7 against 4 right now. Let's check the tech here. No additional tech coming down just yet, so it looks like Garmillator committing relatively heavy to this early aggro. What's the plan here? Okay, so he does put a turret here. Okay, so the only reason I can imagine that you'd put that turret here is if it definitely does have line of sight to that. You know, I'm just like a die-hard Knef, mostly Knef, but Knef Galzian player, so I just don't think about turret rushes and I don't think about turret line of sight, so I take it from players who are much better with coalition forces, or probably who are much just better in general, like Garmillator, to show me the way. So I'm guessing if it's good enough for Garmillator to put it there, that must have line of sight down here. Line of sight and range. So okay, here comes the carrier. Now, EmptySoul did see the base runner moving up here, so I mean, he'd have to be a fool to not realize there's a turret up there, so I suppose this is why he's sending his carrier across. Production cruiser, of course, is out. There we go. Now we can see the turret begins to open fire. Nothing, of course, that a Saban carrier cannot deal with. The railguns ought to be sufficient to take this turret out. Boom, we're going to start having some shots here taken. Wow, Garmillator in a commanding position on the field already, though. Look at how many LAVs this is. That's like 12 already. Let's check the tech again. So, okay, he's going railgun first. He already has LAV armor 1, so this is like... This is super intimidating. How many LAVs? 13 now. That is super intimidating. He's just going to come right on in here. Find this... Oh, no. EmptySoul with no scouting on the right flank here. And here come the LAVs, and let's check the upgrades for... EmptySoul down in upgrades and outnumbered 3-1 in an LAV battle. That spells certain death. And here comes the focus fire from Garmillator. There is all kinds of blood in the water right now. Okay, so the arm logistics module are like the only thing that could possibly tilt this back towards EmptySoul's favor. More ALMs being deployed into the fray here. The support cruiser is getting focused, and I just think Garmillator has enough dudes here. He needs to spread them because these EMPs... Okay, the EMPs are not being targeted particularly well, but he needs to spread his units a little just to mitigate the EMP damage. But okay, support cruiser goes down, and wow, I mean, we're not even 5 minutes into this game, and it does look rather as though Garmillator is sort of winning. Like, this is... this is not over, but this is a really good start for Garmillator. Now EmptySoul has to spend time and resources reassembling his backfield, and he has no military units unless you count ALMs to speak of, so that's a problem. Anyway, he's going to get a base runner with an artifact out. There's nothing Garmillator can do about that, so the artifact scoreline is going to be 1-all, so, you know, at least EmptySoul doing his best in that regard as I have a sip here on my drink. Do excuse me. So, wow, that's a gunship. Sweet. Oh, this is the appropriate counter. Take that. This is the appropriate counter to an LAV heavy opening, going straight for gunship here. So top respects to... Oh, there's a clustered target here. Come on, gunship. Come on, gunship. Come on, gunship. Get the shot. Get the shot. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, the value. Okay, I haven't cast. You can tell I haven't cast Deserts of Karak for a while, because instead of, like, you know, talking about the game, I'm just making, like, 8-year-old boy noises, like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, don't worry. Baby steps, one cast at a time. I'll get back into this. So, okay, EmptySoul going to remake that support cruiser. Gunship's going to head back home. Took some DACA off of the LAVs, but nothing to write home about. Did it get a level of veterancy? Wow, no, it needs even more. Wow, it shot down, like, 6 or 8 LAVs there, so it's kind of weird that it didn't have that. So anyway, AAV going to be the tech here to follow up the railgun tech, which was already researched. And does he already have missile ship tech? Or does that unlock... Oh my god, see, I just don't even know the Coalition tech tree very well whatsoever. I should, you know what, for the sake of my casting career, I should probably play a few more games as Coalition and Saban, because, like, it is embarrassing. When I've not been casting the game for a while, it is embarrassing that I don't know whether he's already researched missile ships or not. Anyway, looks like EmptySoul's base runner here going to be caught out. Artifact is on board, and Garmillator obviously going to be keen to shut that down. There's another window here for that gunship to come out, though, so I wonder if he's going to commit the gunship to come and help defend this base runner. It may already be too late. Wow, actually, going to use the targeting jammer here to buy a little more time for this base runner. That's quite cool. A couple of LAVs going to try to buy some time for this base runner, but that is all they're going to be able to do, just buy some time. Here comes the gunship, though, and that may be able to affect a save here. Let's see what happens. So the gunship begins circling. Enemy AC 130 above! And starts dackering these guys down. Oh my god, gunships are cool. But there's a anti-air turret post here. Oh, the missile ship. I mean, sorry, oh, the gunship, the gunship, the gunship. Oh, survives with pixels. Both engines ablaze. But I like this defense. Let's check the base runner. I think this base runner is going to score. So that is nicely done here by EmptySoul, who I have to say, when you look at how this game opened, things looked absolutely dire. But EmptySoul here, cementing himself into a great position. He's mining off of 2 locations. He has a reasonable force of LAVs on the field. He's actually going to pick down this anti-air turret post. So how much do those cost? They're like 350. Wow. So they're more than a regular turret even. So that's 350 scored right there. He's probably going to pick up this base runner. He leads in the artifact stakes, and okay, he's got a couple of strike fighters out now, so this is really cool. Let's check the tech here for Garmillator. Okay, so he does have missile ship tech. That is not dependent on having AAV tech. I didn't think it was. And so, okay, these strike fighters just going to do as much damage as they can here. Pouring missiles in. Garmillator is going to need to get himself some anti-air, really, because, I mean, he has these LAVs, but they are, as we've seen, rather handily answered by this gunship, which is coming out once again. Is that the same gunship, or is that... Okay, no. So this is the same gunship. Just one has been built. Uh-oh. Oh, that's a target if ever I saw one. Come on, gunship. Take the shot. Take the shot! Take the shot! Why is it not taking a shot? There we go. Okay, that was rather more underwhelming than I thought it might be. Uh-oh. Oh, the gunship may go down here. It's going to be left on a pixel after this impact, sorry. So what he needs to do is just kite it, like, just shift right-click a couple of waypoints up around the side of the map and get it back, because obviously if it flies back over these LAVs or this anti-air turret post, that's going to be bad times. But this game, yeah, remarkably even right now. So here comes a missile ship. Garmillator beginning to add in the hard anti-air counter to his force, and that's a good idea. He still has overwhelming LAV majority here. Let's check the upgrades. These LAVs now have both armor upgrades, so they are quite spicy. And look at the amount of damage these strike fighters are doing. It's not a lot. It took that LAV there took literally 3 missiles to the face, and he's still loving life.
Alert, light attack vehicle destroyed.
Did he get the gunship back? Okay, yay, the gunship did return. That gunship continuing to provide value here for EmptySoul. EmptySoul, who's looking to mine off of a third location here. I do like this. Having your carrier in the central having your carrier in the central location of these 3 mining points here is actually really nice.
Light attack vehicle is under fire. Prep for displacement. We're clear to proceed.
And both players here can tend to give each other a little bit of room, and although Garmillator has the superior force, it's tough to engage into a Saban player because they do have those ALMs, which is like a notable defensive upgrade. Like, it is, I think, probably more than most of the other races. Like, the Saban just have a really good defensive ability. I mean, the ALM is like specifically defensive, isn't it? And it's one of their carrier's main systems, so they are quite defensively oriented in that regard. So, yeah, Garmillator giving his opponent respect here, not going to engage in. 2-1, still the scoreline on artifacts here. No base runners actually alive on the field right now, so that's unlikely to change as we move just now past the 10-minute mark in this game. And, yeah, this game getting set up to be a pretty spicy one so far. I like it. Power reserves now. Level 1 already researched, level 2 coming up here for Garmillator, so looking to perhaps weaponize his carrier here. Second support cruiser comes out for EmptySouls, and that is ahead of the second support cruiser for Garmillator, so I actually think EmptySouls is ahead in this game. Oh, going to be taking some missiles here from the missile ships. The strike fighter is going to get back, having obtained the intel about the positioning on these missile batteries. But yeah, okay, so here's the second the second support cruiser for Garmillator, and that means that both players will be on a more or less even economic keel. So the advantage in this game comes down to having an extra artifact and force composition. And right now I feel like the force composition is on a knife's edge because, like, what are the upgrades? Okay, wow, 2-2 upgrades actually for EmptySouls LAVs versus just 2 armor. So actually EmptySouls LAV is worth considerably more here than Garmillator's, and both players have quite a lot of them as well. So that's 16 LAVs here for EmptySoul versus 19 for Garmillator. Now the missile ships basically trump all of this air support. This is risky coming out with these strike fighters. You know what he should do? He should scout the third location over here, and this is where you want to be hitting. I mean, it's easy for me to say because I'm an observer and I can see everything, and I can see that, like, you know, Garmillator has basically no AA over here. But yeah, I think scouting this location and hitting it with the strike fighters might have been cool. Garmillator, I think, realizing this weakness, going to just transition his LAVs into a position where they can provide some anti-air on this corridor. So that's going to limit EmptySouls' ability to apply pressure to this third mining location. 2 artifacts now. EmptySouls applying mad pressure on the objectives. That's going to force Garmillator's hand here. He's going to have to act. And remember, these missile batteries do have the cluster mortar, which is very effective against LAVs. So this fight could just be over before it even really starts. And 4 cluster mortars, I mean, it's actually hard to miss when you have that many. Garmillator still here with a numbers advantage, 21 LAVs to just the still 16 of his opponent. Now, assault cruisers is going to be the tech for EmptySouls, but they are slow, and I don't think they're going to be here in time for the fight. They might be here in time to help mop up. So, okay, I think 1 artifact for sure going to get secured. Is that a targeting jammer? That is probably the best use of a targeting jammer I have ever seen. Honestly, I think the targeting jammer is like a really meh ability, and it's like one of the reasons I think Soban is the most meh team in the game. That's nothing against Saban players or anything, but that was mighty. That was like the perfect position. Okay, cluster mortar is beginning to come out, splashing some LAVs here. Good dodging though from EmptySoul. How much is the targeting jammer? 150. It's just, if it was 100 I'd be okay with it, but 150 just feels really expensive. Okay, so here come the assault cruisers. They are going to add considerably... Whoa, these assault cruisers actually could do a number on this whole force. You don't really want to engage into this with this composition. Uh-oh, he could use the indirect fire mode to splash down this army. Here comes the carrier, though, for Garmillator. And we're looking at power reserve level 3 already researched. Considerable amounts of power resources available on this. These assault cruisers kind of engaging with no support. Getting some value for now, but they need to get out of here. They're quite slow. He's going to lose the ability to get them out quite soon as the carrier begins stabbing damage in with the missile systems being powered up. Now, these LAVs, not a lot of use against a weaponized carrier, and I mean, I can't see exactly what the tech is right now for EmptySouls, but he better have something ready for this. Like a railgun battle cruiser would be a really nice counter. Gunship's going to come out the carrier here, but I can't see what that's going to do. This carrier takes down the first assault cruiser. The second assault cruiser hemorrhaging life, taking fire at a rapid rate. That salvo of missiles ought to bring it down and smashing down into the dunes. goes EmptySouls' advantage here. Oh no, and his gunship, the veteran gunship. Oh my god, is it going to get out? Yeah. I can't help but cheer for that gunship. Okay, this is a tough situation. Okay, right, here's the thing. Look at EmptySouls' LAVs, okay? Well, how much value are they providing right now? None! He cannot engage here. Like, he just can't engage here because the carrier trumps them all. So I kind of think that what EmptySouls needs to be doing, or have been doing about 50 seconds ago, is grab all the LAVs, run them down here, and start hitting. Because I just don't see what value these LAVs are going to provide on the defense. What are they doing here? They have no value here, so I mean, he could even split them into two balls, send like one load down here and send another load down here. I don't know, but he needs to get these LAVs to work, because this is like the majority of his military might right now is tied up in these LAVs, and they are kind of useless right now. Okay, so railgun's going to start coming out here. Saban railgun's going to be the choice for EmptySouls, but I mean, he's only just now got the one coming out. Gonna have a couple here. Okay, but now that he has the railguns, he actually really can't send the LAVs out, because he needs something to defend these railguns from the LAVs of Garmillator. So this is a tough situation for EmptySouls, to be sure. These railguns need to start casting shots. There we go, get that armor break going. Bam! He's gonna start taking some shots into this carrier. Support cruiser... Oh no, that's the wreckage from the support cruiser that died in the early stages of this game, sorry, my bad. So... Wow, yeah, Garmillator looking really aggressive here. One more artifact, remember, just one needed for EmptySouls here to secure a victory. So, this game definitely on a knife's edge, and that's a lot of railguns now. That's the nice thing about Coalition and Saban. Their carriers really build very quick, and here comes the backstab for EmptySouls. He comes hawking on in, going to start smashing down these salvagers. And remember, he's got 2-2 on these LAVs, so the damage is real. Support cruiser is going to get picked off in just a split second as well. Garmillator swinging in for damage. An assault cruiser here, going to try to save the day. Garmillator picks off a support cruiser and then gets out with his very damaged LAVs. If the gunship could get onto those LAVs, that would be like epic, actually. I feel like the gunship should have been deployed. That would have... Oh, actually... Okay, these missile batteries in a good position here makes using that gunship. You have to be a little bit cautious with that. But meanwhile, the backstab here from EmptySouls continues to destroy the backfield of Garmillator, and I think EmptySouls may be able to consolidate onto these two resource points and maintain his economy. And if you have an economy and your opponent does not, that is usually a win in an RTS. So looking forward to seeing the outcome of this crazy exchange. This is almost a base race that... If there is such a thing in this game. This is almost a base race that EmptySouls is totally winning. Alright, so he gets up on top of these support cruisers. I reckon he should focus them down, but he does see the incoming LAVs here from Garmillator, so he may opt to save his LAVs, and that is actually going to be the choice here for EmptySouls. Garmillator grabs a couple of artifacts though. Alright, so Garmillator, here's the position, okay? He has no economy, he has a decent army, but he does control the artifact spawn points, so he's going to be making use of that. Makes a few base runners, he has 3 now actually, and he's going to grab 2 artifacts at a time. This assault cruiser gonna just delay this base runner scoring for now, just gonna inch on in here and just add some damage to the scenario. These railguns need to be here. I think if EmptySouls can get his railguns onto this high ground, things start looking really good for him actually. But that is tough because they've got no defense. Uh-oh, Garmillator, if Garmillator sees these exposed railguns, I suppose they've got ALMs for defense, but that's not going to work against this many sand skimmers. Okay, so all of the support modules for Garmillator get taken out. EmptySouls just using his LAVs really nicely in the backfield there. Okay, here comes the dive. The LAVs of Garmillator try to get these railguns. Okay, so a lot of fire coming in. The ALM's doing pretty good. More ALM spawning. Now the gunship gets committed, and I like this choice. Oh! Oh no, the clustering! Oh! Savage damage! Oh, you know what? The gunship goes down, but in a blaze of glory. Just one of the better gunships I've seen in this game. That gunship was alive for nearly 20 minutes. Ended the game with a level of veterancy, having killed nothing but LAVs. Man, I feel like they need to change the veterancy requirements on that unit, because that was like a pretty decent gunship. I guess it wasn't being active that much of the game, but I still feel like having been that good, it should have had more veterancy. But anyway. Okay, so the railguns are going to grab this piece of high ground. They could probably pick off a support cruiser here, perhaps. The assault cruiser of Empty Souls, not going to be enough to stop the onslaught of Garmillator's carrier. Now with power reserve level 5, nukes are an option as well. In fact, he fires the nuke as I say that. Is that nuke just going to hit this army? Oh wow, Garmillator wants these artifacts. Nuclear warfare, ladies and gentlemen. It's a terrible thing. So, alright, that's actually the win, isn't it? Because there's no way that Empty Souls can stop these artifacts extracting. What a fantastic game. Gonna be over in more or less 20 minutes here, and yeah, Empty Souls realizes the jig. He knows he needs to stop these space runners, but it ain't gonna happen. There's just no way here. Too many missile ships and too beefy of a carrier. Garmillator had to win the game in this window pretty much right here, because Empty Soul is like totally mining right now. He has loads of mining locations. He has an economy. So Garmillator realized that this was his window to win the game, and through fantastic positional play, just fantastic positional play, takes this area of the field, buys himself just enough time. Bear in mind, he really couldn't produce very much during this time. Actually, I say that, he's floating some resources. So, but I mean, his economy was cut off, so he had to win, like, within this time window. I think if this game goes on, like, even a minute longer, Garmillator's odds of winning are just, like, flatlining. So, epic judgment there from Garmillator in a really cool game, very back and forth. Garmillator striking forth. He had a super advantage in the early game. His LAVs with 2 upgrades, far outnumbering his foe, smiting them down. Hasty gunship coming out just in the nick of time for Empty Souls to stabilize in that game, and then both players having a really nice sort of back and forth tussle with some really cool plays. Both players playing really well. I mean, it's hard to criticize, but I think Empty Souls could have realized that his what are they called? LAVs were useless when Garmillator started pushing with his carrier and sent them out a little bit earlier. Now I'm not sure how that changes the game, but there was like, it felt like, pardon me, it felt like there was about a minute's worth of efficiency time, if you like, where those LAVs were basically just sitting here and here, being idle, not being able to contribute in any meaningful way to the game. And anytime you've got that much resources, that much investment sitting around on the board being useless, that's always bad. So I guess he could have realized that sooner and sent them in for a backstab. I'm not sure how that changes the texture of this game, but that's one observation I have here that Empty Souls could have, you know, done to improve the way this game went. But I mean, that was a 4-5 victory where Empty Souls has, to be honest, in terms of the actual board position, I mean, this is fantastic for Empty Souls, isn't it? I mean, he's mining, his opponent is not. Unless Garmillator literally won here, he was never going to win. So a great game from both players. What a pleasure to cast. So yeah, I guess that concludes this replay. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned, I guess, for more videos coming out as and when I feel like it. This was a sweet replay, and it is one of a pack of like 20 or something that Garmillator sent me, so many thanks once again, Garmillator, you are awesome. So I have plenty of replays to be getting through. They will all be featuring Garmillator. Of course, if you want to send me some of your replays, please send them to magpiereplays@gmail.com. And this, for now, is Magpie842 signing out.